for Evansville Memorial and is one of the leading scorers in the state, averaging better than 28 points a game. Kent Williams, another outstanding guard, is the main man for the unbeaten Mount Vernon Rams and is regarded by many as perhaps the best junior in all of Illinois. Keon and Williams, the marquee matchup as Memorial meets Mount Vernon, Illinois in Game 2 of the NBC 14 Hoops Classic.
Live from Robert Stadium, this is the NBC 14 Hoops Classic. Brought to you by Citizens Bank, Temple Wolf Ford, and WFIE TV NBC 14.
Once again, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Mike Blake along with Dean Webster, Kenny Schulteis. 1 game's in. This one ought to be a dandy, folks. As we say, the marquee matchup, but there's more, Dean, than just numbers 33 to watch.
That's right. You know, we saw Adam Seitz, an outstanding player in the first game, where you're going to have 2 in this game, and Kent Williams for Mount Vernon and also Clint Keon for Memorial. But I tell you what, there's a lot more to these teams than just the 2-star players, and it's kind of funny because both coaches say we kind of look like the other team. We kind of play like the other team. They're kind of the blue-collar, kind of the lunch pail type teams.
That's right. They're both very methodical, and they've got they're good in the open court. Kenny Schulteis, what do you think? What's 1 or 2 things that these teams have to do? Let's start with Memorial first.
Well, I think Memorial is always like their pressure defense, so they're going to have to get something out of their pressure defense. They like to run and jump on the full court. Second thing, Keon's got to touch the ball down the court. He's got to get touches, whether it's off a pass, where he makes a pass, or whether he takes a shot. He's got to touch the basketball.
And again on Mount Vernon, good ball club, Williams, but again, they seem they also remind us of a team like Vincennes. They don't make mistakes.
I look for a fundamental basketball game where both teams work hard, and as we saw in the first game, who said high school players don't work hard?
They do work hard. Right now, let's go up top to 2 people who've been working hard. They're going to be here throughout the day, to Dan Katz and Mike Madarega. Guys, take it away.
Okay, Mike, thank you very much. We're back inside Robert Stadium, of course, for another few hours of basketball, to say the least. Mike, what do you think? Game 2 coming up. Pretty good one, huh?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. A lot of basketball going on, and a lot more to come. We got the best seats in the house here, Dan.
We certainly do. Again, a marquee matchup, but certainly more. The fans are coming in. Again, come on down to Robert Stadium if you want to see some of this action. Down on the floor this afternoon, getting a touch of the flavor inside Robert Stadium, Jenny Whitmer. Jenny?
Hey, guys. There's still a lot of excitement down here on the floors. We're having a great time. Talked to a lot of fans, coaches, cheerleaders. A little bit later on, we're going to talk to a couple of Mount Vernon fans who are really psyched up and really ready to win today. So, Dan, back to you.
All right, Jenny, thanks very much. We'll get back down to you in a little while, and we'll be back with an opening tip-off of the Mount Vernon Rams and the Memorial Tigers when the NBC 14 Hoops Classic continues live from Robert Stadium in just a moment.
I want to announce a winner for American Friends.
If you're a hurry-up, gas-it-up, no-time to waste driver, chances are you don't have time to check your oil and water. You fill it up, pay it up, and drive it out, even though you're overdue for an oil change and lube. You would like to take better care of your car, but you just can't seem to find the time. At least, not until now. Before your car stops, take it to Ron's One Stop. Ron's One Stop, Mount Vernon.
Now, let's go to the starting lineups for the Mount Vernon Rams. Here's the Memorial again. Birdsall and Todd at the wings. Emick in the center. Hayden and Keon will be at the guards. Now for Mount Vernon, Scott Gamber at 1 forward. Keep your eye on Chris Morgan. He's a very heady player, number 43. In the map, the man in the middle, number 33 to guard, Kent Williams. Also, John Nockey and Coleon Hawkins will round out the starting lineup for these Mount Vernon Rams. Crowd is starting to pick up. Again, we mentioned earlier, Pike Central, Vincennes already has a crowd here for the 4th game. And Memorial always brings a crowd, don't they, Ken?
Well, yeah, Memorial's got that great big city yet little town tradition. They support their people. I think on some of the promotions for this classic, students talked about how everybody's a Tiger backer, and that's absolutely true. The adults are there, the kids are there, and that's what makes Memorial even more difficult to play against, especially when you go to Memorial, because they've got the crowd support.
There you see the Rams being introduced. Again, if you look at them, you say, gee, they're not that big, they're not real quick. And Doug Creel, the coach, kind of downplays it. He says, we're a blue-collar team. We don't, you know, we may get blown out. He's not kidding anybody. This team is, and one thing to keep your eyes, they really shot fake. They've got a good fundamental basketball team, and you know, Illinois has some good high school basketball in it. I mean, one of the assistants at U of E, Marty Simmons, I'm sure everybody knows, one of the great high school basketball players in history in Illinois. So, you know, there's great basketball roots in Illinois. If you're wondering about Mount Vernon, it's a school of about 1,400. They're in 3A in Illinois. Dino?
One thing about Mount Vernon is they have one senior, Coleon Hawkins. That's it. So they're a very young team. They made some noise last year, guys, in the tournament. They expect to really do something this year, but this team may still be a year away.
Which is very interesting because in the 4th game, Bloomington South brings in a team that's almost all underclassmen. So we've got great young talent in here, well coached and feeding off last year's success. Mount Vernon's going to take that. I think we are going to see a very similar matchup of teams here in size and depth and just the way they play. And that's really going to be exciting because this is going to be the purest basketball game.
Gus Gillespie, one of the assistant coaches for Doug Creel over on the Mount Vernon bench from Lawrenceville, Illinois.
And a great buddy of Marty Simmons, who Dean mentioned in game 1, is here watching. Needless to say, Marty was impressed with Mr. Seitz in the 1st game, and they've got a vested interest in watching Mr. Keon in game 2. And the tip goes to John Nockey of the Rams. They'll set up shot. Rams coming in unbeaten, and Williams puts up the first shot of the game, and it's batted around, controlled by Keon. And like all the good players, Keon looks right up the court, inside to Todd. A foul, and it does not go in, and it'll be a foul on Mount Vernon.
But what happens here, Mike, we get a rebound, and Keon, being the player that he is, he doesn't put it on the floor and try to dribble, which slows things down. He kicks it out, and they get it down the court, and even though he's not the one shooting it, he's the one that starts it.
Josh Todd did not play in the last game for the Memorial Tigers when they lost at Mount Vernon, Indiana, a game which they didn't play as well as they wanted to. This kid has been a terrific athlete, and he has beefed up, Kenny, in the last year. He's probably 15 pounds heavier than he was a year ago.
Well, I think Memorial is true to their tradition, and that's just hard-working kids that give everything they've got. And I think, you know, you get a player like Keon who gets them like Seitz does for Pike Central, but it's these other guys, they bust their butt and take them over the top.
And the smallest man on the court, number 11, Adam Hayden, wins the battle as it's knocked out of bounds. Adam is the son, and he is a rabbit. He can really motor. He is the son of head coach Dave Hayden.
He's fun to watch. He gets after it. He's not a greatly gifted player, but he gets after it.
Clint Keon with the first bucket of the game, 2-zip Memorial.
I just had a thought. What about Keon and Seitz in the backcourt for the Aces? Wouldn't that be a good tandem?
I think there's a few other people here thinking the same thing, and they wear purple. And Kent Williams, very nice baseline move. The shot is partially blocked and controlled by Chris Morgan. And Williams gets it.
I like how Memorial's come out and put pressure on the defense, guys. They're getting the ball out quickly, whether it's a make or a miss, and trying to put pressure on Mount Vernon's defense to see if they're going to get back.
And the ball will go over to Memorial. 2-2. Here, just over a minute elapsed in the first quarter. Keon gets it stolen by John Nockey. He's got great hands.
Absolutely great hands.
And Nockey takes Hayden to the bucket and draws the foul.
Well, you know, Mike, you never want to cross over in front of a defensive man like that, but Keon used what we call a sweep move, and he swept the ball through low. But he was down so low defensively, he just took that thing right away from him. So you can't really fault Keon that much. It's great defensive play.
Chris Morgan inbounding it. Nice shot fake. And this is the shot, a rare air ball. We talked about the shot fake. Watching the tape, Dean and I made the remark, these guys do it as well as any high school team I've ever seen.
Well, they did a good job there. He got him up in the air, and usually you don't get a Memorial player jumping off his feet like that, especially at 12 feet, but he did a great job there. He just couldn't convert.
Keon takes it up, draws the foul. Again, we saw it with Adam Seitz. We see it with players like Keon Williams. Great body control.
And you know what makes him more difficult? The people watching at home might notice he's a right-handed player, yet he takes the ball with his left hand a lot, especially into the elbow areas like he did right there. And you kind of catch people off guard because they're expecting you to go right, and that's when you pull in the foul situation. So Keon does a great job of using his left hand and switching back and forth.
Keon surprisingly hasn't been as sharp at the free throw line, hitting a little over 60%. And Deanie missed a couple for us in the NBA shot.
He stood over there the other night in the locker room and hit 10 in a row and then missed the one for the money. So that's all right. We'll get him back there and we'll have him hook it up again. You know, one thing, guys, down on the defensive end, Mount Vernon's switching up on who they're putting on Keon. One time it's a little guy, one time it's a big guy.
Well, that's a great move, Dean, and that's going to keep Keon off balance a little bit because it'll keep his defenders fresh.
They find Morgan, the open man, and a foul on Scott Gamber goes over the back of Doug Emick. That's another thing that Mount Vernon does. They find that you'll find Morgan, you'll find Williams. They're not just prejudiced. They don't shoot from one side. There's Doug Creel, second-year head coach. He was an assistant 9 years at Mount Vernon. His team last year 25-5, and as Dean said, went to the Elite Eight, and they got everybody back.
You know, Emick drew that foul on the other end just now. He's just a big old thug down there. I mean, I don't mean that in a negative way. He just takes up a lot of space and tough to get around.
Birdsell can't convert in good position, loses it underneath and controlled by Naki.
That's a coaching term, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's about the third post shot that Memorial has failed to put through, which is kind of reminiscent of North Posey in the first game.
And it gets a little sloppy. Hawkins controls it. Watch it. You mentioned the quick hands of Keon. Watch how active he is with the hands. 3-2 Memorial. Gamber. And a rebound, Josh Todd, and a foul on Coleon Hawkins.
I think one thing I've noticed the last two times down, guys, Memorial has got position for the rebound, but they're not actually blocking out. So let's see if that doesn't play in here down in this quarter, in the second quarter, and maybe the fact they're not blocking out might work against them. So Memorial's got position, but guys, they need to block out. They need to get a butt into somebody.
We've played just 2.5 minutes here of the first quarter. Birdsall needs some help. Keon is really being hounded by Naki.
He's like the glove, Peyton in the NBA. He's all over him.
And as he takes it to the hole, a foul. I believe they're going to call it on.
It's a simple defense they're playing on Keon. If he can't get the ball, he can't shoot it.
That's right.
Absolutely, and Memorial's going to have to counter with some screens.
It's something, too, and I think Dave Hayden, somebody else has got to pick up the slack. Keon cannot carry the offensive load scoring-wise.
And that's going to be the Achilles heel for Memorial. They've got to find some other people that become offensive-minded.
And with beautiful position and the foul. Very nice.
Guys, he went left, he went right, he went back left. I mean, he showed his versatility on the baseline and just went through two Memorial defenders. Just beautiful balance when he ended up with the shot. Hey, three-point play. That's what good players do. They don't just score, Mike. They get to the line and have a chance for the three-point plays.
He is regarded as one of the best, if not the best, all-around junior talent in the state. Living up to the billing. He just, as his coach says, he just outworks everybody. He and Naki are the first to arrive and the last to leave at practice. And this kid, as you see, has very good form. Very, very talented. Birdsall taking it down to the baseline, puts it up. Doesn't get the roll. Rebound. Patchett. And a jump ball.
Well, Paget comes in, and he's what the Memorial likes to have on the boards. I mean, he's a strong kid. He works hard underneath. He also can put the ball in the hoop, so hopefully maybe they can get a little bit more scoring.
And tying him up was number 55 in black, James Wilson. He's a banger. He's only a sophomore, but he's a very experienced one. Played in a lot of key games a year ago, and he's provided some very good spark off the bench. Now it's Aaron Brothers out front. Keon with a three. And a rebound, Gamber.
The screen was there. They screened off Keon's man, but he just couldn't get it to go down.
The Rams, like the Tigers, like to make 3 or 4 passes before they let it up. Now Williams from way out. He is short again, and Keon with a rebound. Nice pass to Brothers and a foul. And that's the foul on Kent Williams.
Transition basket opportunities have been Memorial's biggest strength so far to start this game. It seems like when they get the ball out, they're much better offensively. They've struggled on the half court, but so has Mount Vernon. I think, and maybe it's just me, but I think we're seeing a little bit more jitters in this game than what we saw in the first game. I thought both teams in the first game were composed guys, but in this second game, it seems like everybody's just a little bit conscious and cautious about the passes they're making.
The other night when Dean had a live shot here from the stadium and had the players, you know, this is the first time they came into the stadium. Hey, they're 18 years old or 17. They could be overwhelmed.
It's a little bigger crowd, probably, too. A little more atmosphere.
This is a fine, promising young talent. Aaron Brothers, only a sophomore. Dave Hayden says he's probably our second best shooter. It's in the genes. His father, Ernie, was a very fine player.
Ernie was a heck of a shooter, and I've had occasions to work with him at some of the summer camps that U of E puts on, and I've seen his son grow up. I don't think he's shooting as well.
And we're going to take a break. 6-2, the Rams on top of the Tigers in Game 2 of the Hoops Classic. We're coming right back.
Bank of Illinois, where others have their branches, we have our roots. Bank of Illinois, member FDIC. For dishes, dresses, and diamonds, there's only one place to shop, the Gallery on Broadway. Mount Vernon TV and Appliances, Carl's for men and women, and Jackson's Jewelers.
Clint Keon's one of the best in the open court, Kenny, and here he finds Aaron Brothers, but cannot convert as he's hammered by Kent Williams.
But you know what the pretty thing about that was, Mike? Keon's on the opposite side of the floor. He's got a man in his face, and yet he has the peripheral vision to see Brothers coming up the left side. Just did a great job of getting him the basketball.
Corey Elsop, a very fine left-handed shooter, in now for the Tigers as they try to regain the lead. They're down 5-4, 3:53 to go here in the first quarter. Birdsall again strong to the hole, and he knocked away. It'll be, they credit it to Brothers, or to Birdsall knocking it out. It goes over to Mount Vernon.
You know, one thing about the Birdsall kid, I'll tell you what, he will take that ball to the basket. He doesn't look much like it, but other than a drink of water, but I'll tell you what, he goes to the basket strong.
Naki gets his man off the court and up with a shot. Brian Paget, who can really leap, fell for the fake, and Naki makes him pay for it. This is Alsop. He's a typical Memorial senior. He's worked hard his all 4 years. It's starting to pay off now in his senior year. Didn't get a lot of playing time last year.
I think it's a good move to take Keon out right now, Mike, and I'll tell you why, because it gives him a chance to rest, but it also maybe gives a chance Memorial to try something different offensively.
McClure to Coleon Hawkins, and it's a 6-point lead, 10-4 as the Rams go up on top.
Now, if they keep doing that, they may want to get him back in.
That's right. Well, I think a question you mentioned before, you know, how will this team function without Keon? Even, you know, when he's in the game, obviously they see a lot of double teams, blocks at once. They've got to be able to function around it.
Well, what happens, Mike, is you have a tendency to focus too much on one player, and also the defense does too. Sometimes when you substitute like that, your kids get better because of it.
Josh Todd took it up, and they called traveling.
He made a good move to the basket, Mike, but he did shuffle his feet as he made the turn.
So in a game that seems to be a little more slow-paced than our first game, things are going the way of the Mount Vernon Rams right now, leading by 6. Again, watch the crisp passes. This team moves very well. Keon with those quick hands gets it. Momentarily loses it, and he does.
I think the fact that Keon is just such a good athlete, and even not just basketball, but an outstanding football player. I mean, the guy doesn't back off of anything. He doesn't believe in this burnout stuff. He goes out there and he plays what he enjoys playing. He don't listen to this crap about burnout. He gets after it, and that's why he's such a competitor.
Gets his hand on another one there, but Williams retrieves it. That's right. Gamber strong to the bucket. Aaron shot. He gets his hands on it as Todd has trouble holding onto it. And Chris Morgan into Gamber and a foul.
It's physical. It's getting physical out there, and this is really what this game needs. Even though you've got a little sloppiness, now you've got both teams getting after it. Boy, the sweat's flying on the floor, and the bodies, the machismo's coming up. It's a good game now.
And Dave Hayden said we expect a physical game. Here it is again. Watch this. Todd with the foul. He was concerned about this. He said they're going to be physical and we better show up, and he was not a happy man when he called that timeout. Just a moment. It's 9-4 with 2:04 to go. Mike Blake along with Kenny Schulteis and Dean Webster. Welcome to the first annual Hoops Classic, folks. Fans of all ages, like these cute young people and these very talented, award-winning Mount Vernon cheerleaders. They won some national competition a year ago. If you're just joining us, game one, Pike Central and Adam Seitz with a game-high 26 defeated North Posey. And now Mount Vernon, unbeaten, goes to the line, trying to add to a 9-4 lead. This is Scott Gamber. Fine-looking athlete, 6'4" junior. He's also a good golfer, Dino. Something that Dean and I have a passion for.
And neither one are good at.
You didn't have to say that.
Well, the kid that's impressed me up this point, Naki, 44.
Keon and Naki.
He just
off of Keon.
Yeah, Naki just hustled back and knocked the ball off of Keon, handled him stride for stride. But you know what? They got him listed at 5'8", Dean. I don't buy it. I think he's more like 5'5", 5'6".
But I'll tell you,
set play here for the Rams.
Right, pound for pound, he's as tough as anybody on the court.
Absolutely, he's impressed me up to this point.
Good ball movement. They find Gamber.
Great post feed.
The Rams conducting a clinic at the moment. Now it's 13-4, and the Tigers have got to be careful. To Keon, great. Give Hayden with the assist, and Keon with a super shot, a much-needed shot, and Memorial back within 7.
Right now, that's been Memorial's strength, the open court. Otherwise, they haven't been able to do much.
And a rebound, Josh Todd.
Still not blocking out, guys. They got the board, but they're not blocking out.
This is Alsop. He'll take it all away, and it's a foul on Kyle McClure.
A couple plays earlier, Mount Vernon did a great job of getting the ball into the post. Padgett got stuck on the high side, and I think one thing that people need to look for is in that post play, if that defender gets on the high side, you got a great shot at scoring down low. That defender needs to either be front or low side to keep that ball from getting in there.
Scott Padgett, Brian Padgett, rather, number 53. He sits down. We got a couple new troops, and also Josh Todd goes out. Birdsall checks back in, and so does Doug Emick. So you've got Keon and Hayden out front, Alsop in the wing as well, and Birdsall and Emick underneath for Memorial.
Dave Hayden has been very liberal on an 8-man substitution right now. He's moving his guys in and out, getting them a feel for the game. Going 8 deep at this point is probably a good idea.
To be successful on the high school level, you got to play 8 or 9, don't you? If you're going to be a really good team.
If you're going to win in the tournament, you need to have a good 7, or at least, you've got to get to 8. But you can win games with 6, but it's tough to win in the tournament because it's just too much, takes away too much from you physically.
Boy, they can't allow Kent Williams to penetrate on the baseline. They dodge a bullet. Keon's pass planted away, and Naki makes a great effort, but it'll go back to Memorial.
Birdsell got up there on the other end, Mike. He did a great job of swatting at that basketball. Long arms on that young man.
We're under a minute. Memorial trailing 13-7, Mount Vernon. The Rams. Here's Alsop. Naki again gets his hands on it. Here's Kent Williams bringing it down. 45 seconds. And a short shot by McClure. Williams Looks for help. Naki will try his luck. And a whistle, a foul on Adam Hayden. You can't give a team 2 and 3 shots like that. Mount Vernon's too good a shooting team.
Absolutely, and you know, I mentioned a couple times, and I hate to beat it in the ground, but I'm that way, but we haven't seen Memorial block out, and they've gotten position, but they have not blocked out. Keon's done a pretty good job on Williams, I think, up to this point, but how will that play on Keon in the 3rd and 4th quarters after playing tough defensively and then having so much work on the offensive end?
2 fouls on Adam Hayden. We're under 30 seconds, as you see. This is Kyle McClure. All these Rams can shoot it. Hawkins probably the least effective from the outside, but don't let any of these other guys, and by all means, don't lose track of Kent Williams, this kid. Here he goes. And he fills it.
Filled it up.
With 8 seconds. Hawkins gets it back. And boy, what a way to end the quarter. And the Mount Vernon Rams bring their fans on their feet. 2 quick buckets, and Kenny, that's like a dagger here at the end of the first quarter. 18-7, an 11-point lead. We're coming back. Mount Vernon over Memorial. We'll be back with the Hoops Classic right after this.
Security, peace of mind, and personal attention. Guywood Insurance, we understand that your insurance needs are as unique as your past and future. Our staff of professional support specialists treat you as an individual, not a case number. Every client we insure has our personal service commitment. Representing Ohio Casualty Insurance for more than 30 years, Guywood Insurance, a partner for life and a company you can trust. Call us today at 242-2050 or stop by our office at 1400 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Lindsay's RV Center in Mount Vernon and Carmi is celebrating 30 years of sales and service excellence. Join our celebration and walk through the Sandpiper, our newest line of travel trailers and fifth wheels. Lindsay's RV Center remains your Prowler, Dutchman, Signature, Aristocrat, Royal, Wildwood, and Coleman dealer. Enjoy the great outdoors for another 30 years with Lindsay's RV Center. Call toll-free 1-888-RV-IS-FUN.
What was a 6-point lead with about 10 seconds to go, ballooned to an 11-point lead. Mount Vernon struck like lightning, and what's more, they opened the second quarter with a ball.
In the last 10 seconds, Mike, they've had the ball 3 times. They scored the first 2 times. Let's see if they get another one here.
Naki from out, short. You know, as good a shooting team as they are, McClure with a miss. I'm wondering if they're having trouble adjusting to the stadium because they've had 3 or 4 air balls. I bet they haven't shot 3 air balls in 3 games. Birdsall, nice move in the basket.
I love Birdsall going to the basket. Either side, he loves to go to the basket. And you're right, probably, I think it might be the adrenaline rush, too. They're maybe shooting the ball a little quicker at times and missing the rim a little bit.
Boy, McClure inside, it's a 2-pointer. Memorial shooting a woeful 22% after the first quarter. Still down by 11. Actually 12 now, 21-9.
Well, they're doing, Memorial offensively is trying to do some isolations with Keon. I'd like to see him run him off some staggered screens where he could get the ball on the move and be able to turn and go with it. But Mount Vernon has shown such patience and deliverance in the half court. And gosh, do they have some shooters, guys. They've had 3 or 4 guys hitting that basket.
Something, too, that Illinois and Kentucky schools can do, I believe. But Illinois can send their teams to team camps, all 5. And they came over to Bruce Pearl's camp this summer. And that's when Dean, we kind of made the connection. And Doug Creel and his assistant, Gus Gillespie, said, boy, you know, this is really great that we can all be together, whereas in Indiana, what is it, Kenny? Two or three at a team.
Yeah, you can't do much in Indiana, and I know there's probably some coaches out there, Lagodi, different places that have done more than that, but no, normally you can't even get to your teams in the summertime, and that's hard. I mean, Kentucky and Illinois definitely has the advantage on making better basketball players.
Mount Vernon penetrating. Morgan needs some help, gets it out to Hawkins. Gamber wants it inside. So now it is now 20-11. They have changed the clock or the scoreboard here. And Mr. Williams with the miss. Batted around. Keon gets a hand on it. Gamber back up and puts it in.
I'll tell you what, Memorial is is playing kind of a soft man-to-man, which is fine, but they're not finding the shooters after about 3 or 4 passes. Mount Vernon's lulling them to sleep offensively, and then the big thing again, where's that block out by Memorial? Now they're not even getting position, Dean. They weren't blocking out. Now they're not even getting position.
Scott Gamber, a surprising 8 points already. They don't look for him to be the top scorer, but he's doing the job. Meanwhile, Memorial turns it over. 22-11. 22-11.
This is a part of the game. As a coach, you really get concerned because right here you could get out of it real quick.
And they call traveling on Williams as he draws a crowd. He is really, I like the way that kid moves.
Absolutely, and Memorial catches such a break here, Mike. I mean, Mount Vernon gets the offensive rebound again. I don't know what the stats are going to be on that at halftime, but it's going to be huge. And Memorial's just lucky they got the ball back here.
Hawkins with a rebound. So Memorial, again, having trouble hitting the bucket. Hawkins penetrating, dishes it out. Naki.
There's my man.
John Naki.
There's my man.
He, too, is coming back. He's only a junior. He's a very fine cross-country runner. Finished second in the meet, so he can move it. Looking for Keon, but Clint wasn't watching the ball, and it goes out of bounds, and it goes over to Mount Vernon.
Memorial is really struggling on the perimeter with their passing. If you've noticed, there have been very few bounce passes. Most of them have been over the top or the chest pass, and that's tough to make when you got a team defending the way they are in the passing lanes. Mount Vernon's doing a great job of extending the passing lanes, and that's why you're seeing the ball go out at 40 feet instead of 20 feet.
9 turnovers for the Tigers. That explains a lot of their problem as they trail by 14. Dish to Gamber. And again, he gets his hands on it, saves it. Gamber playing a tremendous game so far. Naki tries to knock one down. And Alsop with a rebound. He loses it to Naki.
Beautiful, beautiful defense. Beautiful defense.
27-11. Kent Williams.
Just beautiful defense. Keon.
They
need that.
And a much-needed bucket by the Tigers.
You know, Mount Vernon...
I'm sorry, Keon with 8 points.
Excuse me, Mike. Mount Vernon does such a good job of never giving up on the ball defensively. Even when Memorial's got it, if they're on the far end of the court, they're still after it. That ended up with a nice, easy basket there.
And again, they call traveling Williams. Call traveling on Kent Williams as James Wilson checks in, number 55, and Josh Todd will bring it in.
You know, before the game started, we talked about some keys. We talked about touches. If you've noticed, Keon has not touched the ball as much on the half-court possessions as he needs to, unless he's brought the ball down the court.
Doug Creel and the Mount Vernon faithful wanted a foul, or wanted a traveling call, but instead they called a foul.
They gave it to Naki. That was a tough call because I think Keon kind of just lost.
Keon seems to be having trouble handling the ball today, more so than normal, and he was kind of rubbing his eyes.
They look tired. I mean, they look winded. I don't want to say they look tired. They look winded. They look like they're really struggling to get up and down the court, and it might be because they started out the game in such a quick offensive fashion, and maybe the adrenaline rush now has tired them out a little bit.
So with just over 4 minutes remaining here in the second quarter, Mount Vernon in command. And another easy bucket, but they can't convert. They keep it alive, though, as Keon knocks it off of Chris Morgan.
Mount Vernon doing great ball movement. Keon got beat on the baseline, which you don't see very often, Clint Keon getting beat, but they're doing such a good job of making that first crisp 2 or 3 passes. And I really like the way the Mount Vernon kids are mentally right now. Mentally, they look so tough. They look strong.
Keon from way out, short. Adam Hayden gets the ball. And a foul underneath. Wilson goes down, and they call it on Memorial. Here's a replay. Let's take another look. And they call it on Eric Eric Birdsall.
Yeah, you see Adam hustling down. And just a little guy, but in there quick, really gets after it. And, you know, when your dad's sitting over there on the bench, you want to play a little bit harder.
You sure do. 27-14, Mount Vernon with the lead and the ball. Game 2 of the NBC 14 Hoops Classic. Boise Christian County still to come as Mr. Morgan gets position and the basket.
Great backdoor feed. He came in from behind the defense, stepped in the lane and sealed up, and they hit him. That's a set play. They look for that all the way.
Wilson kind of knocking it away from Padgett. Very active on defense. Padgett almost wasn't looking for the ball. Keon will put it up. And a push on Coleon Hawkins. Todd drew the foul on Coleon Hawkins.
Mike, it appears Clint's a little frustrated. Clint Keon, he's maybe shooting the ball a little bit quicker. A few plays earlier, they ran that Patman Memorial set play where they set the high screen by the elbow. Normally, he gets that right about the three-point line. He was forced to come out about 2 or 3 extra feet and ended up shooting maybe a shot that's really not good for him. Right there, I think a little frustration put that ball up a little quicker than normal, but they did get the ball back because of the foul.
Josh Todd, a 6'3" junior, a 3-sport individual, very fine athlete. Would like to be a major league pitcher, he says.
You know, if I'm Memorial, even though I'm down at this point with this score, as poorly as we've played in spots, I'm feeling a little bit better about our chances if we can just string a couple baskets together.
29-16 with 3:09 left in the second quarter. We'll be back right after this.
Mary's Income Tax and Bookkeeping Services. Call 244-4577 or stop by 1112 South 23rd Street in Mount Vernon. Steffi's Home Furnishings. Visit our new location on South 42nd Street for all your home furnishing needs.
And a very cute young fan there with his mom enjoying the Hoops Classic game number 2. They must be from Mount Vernon, Kenny. They're smiling.
They are smiling. That cute young man reminded me of my 2 kids, Josh and Paige. So hi, Josh and Paige. I know you're watching.
It's a great time of the year for basketball, and we're glad you're with us on this holiday season. Come on out to the stadium. This is game 2 of 4. Mount Vernon in black, taking on the Memorial Tigers. And a foul on Adam Hayden, and that's number 3. So Memorial's got a problem, and that immediately brings Aaron Brothers off the bench.
Mike, I'm just so impressed with Mount Vernon's ability to make 3 or 4 passes from one side of the court to the other almost every time down. Memorial has not been able to get in the passing lanes. They've not been able to knock down the flashes, and it's going to wear them out. I mean, they're going to have to take some of that away.
Ian again got his hand on it, but not enough to get the steal. Mount Vernon very patient.
See, that's the second time they've swung the ball from side to side on this possession alone. That's 8 passes now they've made.
McClure takes it up, kicks it out. Morgan tries to go down, and a nice deflection and recovery by Eric Birdsall. And here comes Keon. Memorial 31% from the field. 5 of 16 shooting. Padgett looking for help. Almost, and does lose it. And controlled by McClure. And that is the 10th turnover for Memorial. And a foul on Brian Padgett as Williams takes it strong to the hole.
You know the thing that maybe we don't realize, we say 10 turnovers and somebody says, man, that's a lot. But you know it's even more than a lot. 10 turnovers is it's possibly costing you 20 points, but it's also giving the other team 20 points positive. So you got a 40-point swing in there, and that's a lot of points.
You've got 10 turnovers in a game. It's really a slow-down game. This is not an up-and-down tempo where you're trying to push some things, and if a turnover or 2 happens, this is really a half-court game. You're making turnovers in that kind of set. That's really a problem.
And the Memorial turnovers have been on the half court, struggling to try to play without Clint Keon being the main focus of their offense. They've got to do a better job of that.
Hey, just a reminder, coming up at halftime, we've got the three-point shooting contest and the slam dunk contest.
Do I get into that, Dean? You haven't let me in anything so far today. Do I get into that?
You can get in the slam dunk.
We're saving it for the dunk.
Yeah, you put me in the slam dunk. You better bring the trampoline out, 2 of them.
And a rare 2 misses at the free throw line for Kent Williams. Keon gets a good look. And a strong rebound by Kent Williams. He looks up, and Memorial falls asleep. But Morgan can't make the shot, and a foul underneath Doug Ebbing.
Mike, I think right now as a coach, I'm sitting over there, and I'm not as mad about missing the shots as I am about the easy shots we're starting to give up on the other end. There's just no reason for Mount Vernon to get a kick out like that. Although Keon shot a 18, 20-foot shot, you're going to get a long rebound on a miss. You've got to get back. You can't give up the easy breaks like that, and Memorial doesn't do that very often. I know that right now they're just frustrated on both ends of the court.
And he's perfect from the line. Scott Gamber, he's got 11 points, 3 of 3 from the line as James Wilson checks in for Coleon Hawkins. Wilson again played in a lot of big games last year as a freshman. He's a big kid. Boy, and just about everybody but Hawkins are coming back. These guys are going to be a force for another year as Gamber converts both. And it's 32-16. They've doubled the score.
Well, let's see how Memorial does with Naki and Hawkins on the bench. Those have been the 2 defensive stars today.
Nice move by Eric Birdsall, and he puts it in.
And Memorial scores. I might be looking down saying they get another one. I'm going to put one of them in. Naki and Hawkins have just been tremendous on the defensive end today.
Nice steal by Keon, but it goes out of bounds. 1:06 remaining. So it's going to be a sizable lead for the Rams here at halftime unless Memorial can do what Mount Vernon did at the end of the first quarter.
Well, Mike, they're still within a bucket or 2 of being where they want to be. If they can get a stop here and score on the other end, they're right where they really need to be to have a chance to make a run.
Morgan out. And this is Gamber, 21, keeping it alive, and a foul on Doug Ebbing.
Memorial's battling in there, but they've got to find a way to block out.
Beg your pardon, it's not on Ebbing. He will go to the line. Scott Gamber.
You got 55 seconds. It's 31-18. Even though it was a battle down there, it's a stop. And Memorial's got a chance to put some points on the board with the clock stopped, which means 2 or 3 possible possessions the rest of the way. So, hey, Memorial hits here and gets another bucket on a stop, and they're in good shape.
And Memorial is now 8 for 14 from the line.
Well, I'm sure that Dave Hayden's saying, guys, let's find something to go into halftime feeling good about, Dean.
Emmett makes his 9th free throw of the season. It's 31-20. Back with an 11. Under a minute. Williams, and he fills it.
Just you got your best player, the opponent's best player standing there open on the baseline.
Williams with 10 points. Brothers, they sag off him, so he puts it up and makes him pay. 3 points for Aaron Brothers.
Cut it to 10 points, Mike. 26 seconds. Mount Vernon's probably going to hold for about 10 seconds into the quarter for the shot. Let's see what happens.
Again, I would think Williams is game plan A.
Yeah, you think that's where you want to go. Oh, that was pretty.
Kicks it out to Gamber.
That was pretty.
Scott Gamber with a beautiful shot and a game-high 14 points. Keon.
That was a pretty move by Williams on this end, Mike.
And as they leave the floor at halftime, it's the Mount Vernon Rams, the visiting team, beating the Memorial Tigers at 35-23. We'll be back to Roberts Stadium right after this.
We have everything you need to make your world more comfortable and more enjoyable. Quality appliances that make work easier. Exciting electronics that bring a world of entertainment and information to your home. beautiful furniture to make your home restful and comfortable. We have the things you need to make your world a wonderful place.
Get one at Red One, Red One.
Let's take a look at the first half stats, shall we? If you're just joining us, Mount Vernon, Illinois. The Rams beating Memorial 35-23. What jumps out at you as you look at the half?
I'll tell you what jumps out at me, Mike, is 19 field goal tries for Memorial while Mount Vernon had 32. But the big reason there is the turnover situation, 10-5. Free throws, Memorial had a chance to really stay close, but only hit 9 of 15. I'm sure Mount Vernon would like to get there a little bit more than 7 times this second half. 3-point field goals, there's not a big discrepancy there. The rebounds are a lot closer than I thought they would be, but I'll tell you what, Mount Vernon had some critical offensive boards on the other end that really hurt Memorial. And I think another big thing, can Clint Keon find a rhythm? And if he can't, will anybody on Memorial step up and help? I'm hoping to see maybe Memorial become a little more balanced in the second half. I guarantee so is Coach Hayden.
Absolutely. As far as the scoring goes, Scott Gamber of Mount Vernon is the game's leading scorer. He had 14 points. And as you mentioned, Keon really hasn't gotten in the flow yet, has he?
Well, his shots have been pushed a little further out on the court than he would like. He's had to do things behind, with his back to the basket. He really hasn't had a chance to do the things that Clint Keon can do. Part of that is the credit of the defense of Naki and Hawkins. I mean, they've been tremendous gloves defensively. But the other part is the Memorial other foursome. They're not getting Clint opportunities by setting the good, solid screens. And that would concern me on the offensive end. How am I going to get my guy open who not only scores for me, Mike, but gets the ball into people's hands so they can score?
Incidentally, the official scoring has us as both Kent Williams and Scott Gamber at 12 apiece. They don't look for Gamber to score that much, but the kid's been very active inside.
Well, one thing I said before we started this whole great day of basketball was it won't be the big stars that lead teams. It'll be somebody coming out of the blue. We saw Schmidt and Green do it for North Posey. McCandless had a good game for Pike Central. And then here, we've seen that happen there. I mean, Williams is good, Keon's good, but these other guys have done a great job as well.
Someone that we're delighted to have with us on the sidelines here at courtside at Roberts Stadium, Jenny Whitmer. And Jen, who you got right now?
Guys, I have found some very enthusiastic fans up here in the stand. Show them how excited you are. Right here we have, this is Foster. Foster, who do you have playing on the team?
Oh, I got a grandson, Chris Morgan, and then I've got a granddaughter, cheerleader.
What do you think about the game so far?
Well, I like it.
Good game, huh?
I'm almost 85 years old. I don't miss many games.
Great. It's good to be here then, I bet, huh? All right, there you have it. Back to you guys.
With about a half minute here left on the clock. Again, 35-23, but Kenny, having coached so many games, you know, a 12-point lead, it looks like a mountain to some people, but I would think, you know, Memorial just needs to get a little confidence. Like you said, it could be a lot worse.
Oh, it could be a lot worse, and then 12 points is not really the problem here, Mike. The problem from the standpoint of coaching is, where is the mental toughness of my Memorial Tigers? I mean, they have not shown a lot of focus on the little things that need to be done, the passing, the movement on offense, finding the shooters on defense. I would be concerned about the mental part of the game because mental breakdowns lead to tremendous physical breakdowns, and they really need to shore up that area. But 12 points is nothing. That's just a few shots away from victory.
I want to tell you, as you look at the Mount Vernon Rams as they break the huddle, 2 more games to come. Hey, if you're in the area, if you've got some Christmas gifts to return, you know, Aunt Lucy's sweater that doesn't fit or whatever, come on down here to the stadium. The price is right. You'll see 2 more outstanding games. Boise and Christian County in Game 3. Bloomington South and Vincennes, 2 premier teams in Southern Indiana in Game 4. But more importantly, this one still has to be decided in the second half.
Well, Mike, if they've got Christmas gifts to give back, they could give them to us. They just come down the table and give them to us. Dean needs a few.
I need a tie.
Adam Hayden running the show. Hayden's got to be careful with 3 fouls to start, and he turns it over, and that old nemesis of the first half, turnovers, bites them right away here to start the second half.
I'm a little self-conscious. Bruce Pearl just said I needed a new tie. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and you know, it was good to see Bruce down here. Bruce, Albie, the coach of the USI Eagles, and what a year they're having. Again, he does a great job, and he's a tremendous individual as well.
You know, he's looking at a couple of these kids. Number one team in the nation.
An outstanding program is Corey Alsop. The Tigers appear to be much more aggressive as they start the second half.
I see WFIE's Todd Richards has finally shown up. He got the picture on the board. I'm glad to see him in the gym since mine's not up.
Todd's been on vacation the last few days, but he's here for the Classic. Kent Williams takes Todd baseline, finds the open man. Hawkins with a fake, kicks it out, and work it very well, and they find Kent Williams. Williams with 14.
Just tremendous ball movement. Left side, right side, right side, score.
Keon tried to dish it down, and fortunately for Memorial, it goes off of Chris Morgan. A lot of times you better keep your eye on the ball, or Keon's liable to take your head off. He probably would have been better just putting it up, Kenny.
Yeah, I think he made a great move into the lane. One of the few he's been able to get today. And tough shot in the corner.
And here come the Rams.
Pull up the ball.
Head to Morgan. And a charge on Morgan. And the Mount Vernon faithful can't believe that call.
Mike, they were really lucky they even got that call because nobody picked the ball up in the open court, man. There you see Adam got there. I don't know, he might have been moving just a little bit, but at least he hustled back and was able to get that call. But somebody's got to pick up the ball on the other end of the court so they can't get those transition opportunities.
So again, Hayden will try to get things going. Memorial down 14. They come in with a record of 4-2. The Rams of Mount Vernon undefeated. And it's easy to see why. An outstanding ball club. Keon down low, can't get it to fall, and Clint Keon's frustration continues. And Hayden picks off the pass. They were trying to get it to Williams. This is Alsop. He pulls up, and a foul for this. And the Mount Vernon people think it's maybe a little inconsistent compared to the way they were calling him in the first half.
Well, he went.
Here it is again.
I think he got him on the elbow as he went up. Both players are moving. You've got to protect the shooter a little bit, especially when he's in the lane like that. He did nick him on the arm. And whether it's a nick or a hard slap, it's still a foul against the shooter. And that's an automatic. That's a foul.
Corey Alsop can't get it to go. That's the third foul of the quarter. We played just over a minute and a half here in the third quarter.
You know, Mike, a lot of the Memorial players are turning after they miss a shot or make a mistake. They're talking to themselves, and they've got their hands on their knees at the free throw line, and that tells you there's frustration and fatigue there.
And they're back within 13 as John Nockey, an outstanding junior guard, brings it across.
Mount Vernon does a great job of handling the ball out front from Nockey to Hawkins. They just do a good job keeping the defense off balance.
And all five of them handle the ball well, Kenny, and they put it up like Chris Morgan. They spread it around. Keon, a creative shot, to say the least. Keon with his 12th point. And it's 39-26.
Well, the most success they've had has been in the full court transition now offense for Memorial. They've had a tough time in the half court.
Todd with a rebound. Hayden takes it up, and it knocked away. It'll be maintained by Memorial.
You know, I really think Memorial's got a great shot at coming back in this game.
You've got Chris Todd, number 41, who has just checked in, and just checking in, Kyle McClure for Coleon Hawkins.
I'm glad the officials don't have replay to change the call, because that might have gone the other way.
Keon off balance, and a foul. So Keon will go to the line.
You know, we've got some fans hooting and hollering on those calls, Mike, but I'll tell you what, the shooter has the right to shoot the basketball without being pushed, shoved, touched, or whatever. So I'm in agreement. When a shooter goes up, if he is fouled at all, touched at all on the shot, they got to call that.
Keon, 3 for 5. They got 4 for 6, and he's got 13 points. Cuts the lead to 12. Mount Vernon playing well. Clint Keon, All-State in football, a young man that could have a very good shot at being All-State in 3 sports before he leaves Memorial. Outstanding basketball talent and an amazing baseball talent, who Jim Brownlee says can play in the Missouri Valley his freshman year. He's been recruited by the Evansville Aces, but I think Clint is a little disappointed with the performance so far. Frustrating is Scott Gamber. Scott Gamber puts it in. He has 12.
Mount Vernon did a great job of setting that up with the skip pass, which went across the lane and boom, hit the block and the opposite block for the score.
Gamber doing it at both ends. Williams, beautiful pass inside to Chris Morgan. They're conducting a clinic. They pass very well, and Kenny, as you say, they find that the first thing they do is they look up the court.
Absolutely, they're always looking up the court. They're looking ahead on everything.
Keon with a nice move and a basket. Keon with 15, but it's a 13-point lead for Mount Vernon, 43-30.
It's been a tough go for Clint Keon. He's staying in there and battling, but none of his points have come easy, and none of the points from Memorial have come easy.
And a foul away from the ball again on Mount Vernon. Scott Gamber can't believe it.
You know, Mike, we have a similar game to the first one in that it seems as though everything's going well for Mount Vernon, yet they're only up 13, and everything's a struggle for Memorial. So just a little bit of a run here, and we could see something down to the wire. But right now, everything's so fluid and easy for Mount Vernon. But my only concern would be this. I'm only up 13 as well as we're playing.
Interesting that time down the floor that the 33s got hooked up, Williams and Keon, and they jawed a little bit as they were going back up the floor.
Quick hands on Hawkins, taking it from Keon, gets it back, and blocked by, and a jump ball.
Well, I like number 45, Mr. Hawkins. Boy, does he get after you, and he's only 5'10", if he's that, but he is one strong package. And he packages that with some quickness and hits. You know, Clint's really getting a workout today between him and Naki.
So suddenly, Kent Williams, one of the premier players of the Classic, is one of 2 players on Mount Vernon with 3 fouls. And the ball goes over to Mount Vernon. Memorial now with some pressure. Under 4 minutes in the third period. Naki fakes it, takes Keon, and a foul on Clint Keon.
I would say one tendency I picked up from Naki through his first 2.5 quarters is right side of the floor, shot fake and go baseline. He likes to do that. If he can pull up and shoot the shot, he takes it. But he's got such a good shot. You know, he reminds me of Hollander for the Aces. No matter where Hollander's at, when he shot fakes, somebody goes for it. Same thing with Naki.
We'll be back in a moment. 43-30. The Rams by 13 over the Tigers.
For 24-hour towing and heavy-duty wrecker service, call Rick's Towing at 242-4500, and we'll get you where you need to go. For deluxe, charter, and coach transportation, call Beck Bus Service at 242-5685. For rider one-way truck rental, call 244-2535.
Let's go now to Dan Katz with a special guest of the Hoops Classic. Dan?
Okay, Mike, we've got Brad Frazier, who's the Christian County coach, who's going to be taking on Bosse in the next game. You're kind of coming home, aren't you?
Yeah, it's, I was a former assistant at Evansville Bosse under Gene Ballard, and Joe Mullen actually hired me, and he took my old job.
Are you looking forward to taking him on?
Well, I don't know if I'm looking that forward to, because they got a great basketball team. I'm just hoping that we'll come out and play hard and do a good job for Christian County.
Hey, what are your thoughts of this game going on right now?
Well, my thoughts here is that Mount Vernon's playing a real physical basketball game. They're really making it tough for Keon to try and score from outside. And on the other end, Mount Vernon offensively is really working the ball well and getting it to the open guy, and that's probably why they're ahead right now.
Okay, Brad, thanks. Good luck in the next game. Mike?
Thanks very much, Dan. Brad Frazier, a very animated and good coach at Christian County. We'll see him momentarily. In the meantime, it's still 43-30. Memorial staring at a 13-point deficit with about 3.5 minutes to go in the third quarter as Hawkins brings it in.
It's a big possession by Memorial right there, and Clint Keon couldn't connect on the three, but you know, Memorial's so close to just 1 or 2. Oh.
Boy, nice feed. Oh. Basket into Hawkins. John Nockey.
I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah, Mount Vernon shooting better than 48%. Memorial shooting at 34, so there's quite a disparity. Alsop now brings it out to Keon. Keon with 16 points on the afternoon. He goes down. Todd looks for help. Brothers.
Mike, five passes, and Memorial is just now getting it to the other side of the floor. They've been on the left side of the floor almost the whole time.
Alsop. And from outside, Aaron Brothers.
Big shot.
Big shot, a much-needed shot for Memorial. And they're back within 12, and down goes Brothers, and he picks up the foul.
Mike, you know, I think the people at home watching, one thing they'll pick up, Mount Vernon goes from left to right into the post. Memorial is having a tough time of swinging the ball, sometimes maybe unconsciously not even looking to swing, and they really need to be more conscious of moving the ball from one side to the other. The reason you want to do that is because that's how you break the defense down. Defense doesn't want to move any more than they have to, and when you move it from one side to the other, you break it down and you get opportunities to score. Mount Vernon's doing it, Memorial's not.
And somebody that's doing it at both ends of the court, Kent Williams, has lived up to the billing this afternoon. Fine junior talent, one of 4 junior starters for the unbeaten Rams. He tries to find Hawkins, and it turns it over.
They turned it over, but still they had an opportunity to get to the basket. The shot fake on the right side of the floor and drive baseline. I guarantee Coach has probably got that in 2 or 3 of his drills every day in practice because they do a great job of it. Yeah, that's off Keon.
Keon gets it knocked off him by Coleon Hawkins. Keep in mind, if you're a Mount Vernon fan, Williams and Morgan, 2 of the top players with 3 fouls apiece. Nockey and Keon gets his hands on it. Bodies flying all over. This is Hawkins. He'll take it, kicks it out. Williams, nice move. And Todd kept it alive as Birdsall brings it down. Keon. And a foul on Nockey.
It's only a 12-point deficit. I don't want to make... Here's the replay. You see Keon penetrating hard to the basket. He leaves his feet. And he's real fortunate that that didn't turn into a charge, Mike. But there's 3 Mount Vernon hands in on him.
They're going to come. They give it to Hawkins.
I thought Hawkins came over the top and grabbed at his arm. Otherwise, it might have been a charge.
Keon will inbound it. 1:50 to go. Mount Vernon by a dozen. Aaron Brothers, who's hit a couple of big threes. And a foul on James Wilson.
Brothers has really picked up his play here the last few minutes. He's starting to find some penetration holes, and as I alluded to start the second half, somebody else on Memorial is going to have to come out and be an offense. Look at him slash to the hole, good body balance, just couldn't quite get it to fall.
Dave Hayden says he wants him to shoot more. We want him to get more confident. He's deceptively quick, but as you mentioned before, his dad Ernie could put it up. He wasn't shy about shooting.
Absolutely, and I know talking to him, he's wanting him to shoot a little bit better than he's been shooting, but he's going to be a solid player for Memorial.
Memorial 65% from the free throw line as they convert, and it's a 10-point ball game. And as you said, any kind of a run, they can still be in it. Boy.
Turnover, that's a big one.
Brothers at the other end. A foul and a basket. And I think John Nockey was just frustrated. He felt he had been fouled at the other end. And John comes down and commits the foul, and Memorial now can be somewhere where they haven't been in a long time, within 7. And a technical foul on John Nockey.
That's big, Mike. I'm telling you, we got a potentially 7-point swing, 7-point lead down to, and now with the technical, Memorial's going to get the ball back. I mean, this is a big turnaround in this game. If this doesn't pump the Memorial Tigers up, nothing will. I know this is the last thing Mount Vernon wanted to get here.
It comes with 1:23 to go in the third quarter. 45-37 as Aaron Brothers will shoot the free throw to convert the three-point play. And I would think they'd put Keon at the line to shoot the technical.
Well, you know, having had Fred Cooper on games before, Fred is a guy you can talk to, question, but don't get mouthy with him.
Memorial has certainly had a lot of free throw attempts. This is their 22nd attempt. They've made only 14. And Brothers completes the three-point play. And it's a 7-point Mount Vernon lead. And now Indiana's 5th leading scorer at 28 points plus, Clint Keon, will try to bring him even closer.
Well, you know, they were 9 of 15 in the first half, and had they been able to hit him in the first half, the game would have been close. But what a turnaround in this game.
9 straight points. It was 45-30 just a couple of minutes ago. So the Tigers are on a run right now.
And I was just about to say before, I don't want to say that things are over with for Memorial, but they need to pick it up, and then boom, all of a sudden, here we see this turnaround.
7 of 9 points.
I think Mount Vernon wants a timeout here, Mike.
That's probably smart. Doug Creel says, let's talk this over. And suddenly, it's become a much better ball game. 45-40 with 1:23 to go here in the third quarter. And again, if you're just joining us, Mount Vernon with a commanding lead at halftime. Had led by as many as 16. They led by 12 at the break. It's now down to 5. And as you said, Kenny, if this doesn't fire up Memorial, nothing will, and it's about time.
Let's see if Memorial doesn't screen a little harder, cut a little sharper, and this is a big possession. I really believe this could change the whole game.
You're going to see both teams pick it up a little bit now.
It could get physical, could get nasty out there.
Keon being guarded by Kyle McClure. He'll put it up, and he's got it. Nothing but net.
That has been a Clint Keon trademark. Go right, come back, left him the elbow for a long time.
12 straight points, and it's, as we come under a minute, it's a 3-point ball game. Keon with a game-high 21. Gamber, he's going to put it up. Scott Gamber, who was a main man in the first half, gets a big bucket, his 15th point of the afternoon.
They must have thought he couldn't hit that shot because they just let him go. He's been big on the boards and with points. He's been a big player today.
Memorial playing, obviously, for the last shot. Memorial shooting percentage has improved from that 34%.
Mike, I hope they can hold it here. They've struggled with the ball in the half court the whole game. I hope they can make it all 20 seconds that's left here. Keep it in Keon's hands. They got a pretty good shot at it.
He tells Hayden to get under. Here we go. What's the ideal time with a kid from way out? Wow.
About right there. That's the ideal time. About right
big
there.
Time three. Williams.
That's how I would have set it up. About right there.
When we come back for the fourth quarter, what a ball game. Suddenly, a team that at one time was trailing by 16 is now down by just 2. Mount Vernon 47, Memorial 45. The Hoops Classic turning into a classic when we come back.
A new era began today as cable TV brought broadcast television.
The first 24-hour movie channel was beamed in via satellite. HBO.
Welcome the first channel that's all kids all the time. Cable is just what the parents order.
Are wired in today. Cable has connected school kids to the future.
Came of age today as the Gulf War raged. CNN was the only
games as the NFL and Major League Baseball join the cable lineup.
That cable will continue to change people's lives by delivering the future of television.
We are Cablevision Communications.
Like all good players, Clint Keon's feeling it. Right now, let's go to Jenny Whitmer. Jen, who have you got?
I've got Keith Bagby here. He's going to be the official in the Christian County Bosse High School game they're going to be playing next. Keith, tell me a little bit about your thoughts here today on the Hoops Classic.
Oh, I think this is great. We've got a very enthusiastic crowd here. I think this is something Evansville's needed for some time. And I think Channel 14 and the people that are responsible for putting this tournament on are just doing a super job, and I'm certainly looking forward to the next game.
All right, Keith, thank you very much. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jen. The shot by Eric Birdsall wouldn't fall. Here's Ken Williams and a push on Josh Todd.
Hey, Birdsall made a great move to the basket, but could not get it to go down, which they've struggled with all day. And then on this end, Williams did get fouled, but if they wouldn't have called the foul, he'd have traveled because he shuffled his feet at the end.
A kid like Keon, because he is such a great competitor, Kenny, don't you go to him until, you know, keep riding the hot hand, wouldn't you think? Here's Williams from way out.
Well, that was an ill-advised shot by Williams, but once again, they get their offensive rebound, which is plagued Memorial.
And the block, but a foul by Todd as Morgan takes it strong to the hole. Chris Morgan, I like the way this kid plays, too. He takes it to the hole. He's had 3 games in the 20s, and he can fill it.
And Mount Vernon, once again, Mike, has gone to the right side of the floor onto the baseline. They've really taken, I think about 8 times they've really taken that area strong. And, you know, getting back to your comment on Keon, you want to watch 2 things. One, you want to get it in his hands because he's going to make big baskets for you and big plays happen. But 2, he's on an adrenaline rush right now. You don't want him to get a cheap foul here, either offensive or defense. So he has to be careful.
His 7th point of the afternoon. Morgan, too, is just a junior, 6'2". And he's become a very fine defensive player for Doug Creel's Rams. And he converts 49-45, a 4-point lead as Hayden brings it across.
Looks like they're trying to set up and get Keon, and they got him the ball. High screen.
Hawkins doing well on deep, and a foul on Kyle McClure. I was about to remark that Hawkins' hands are pretty active. He's given Keon some fits at times. But McClure, number 15, picks up the foul. Here it is.
And, you know, Clint really made that happen, Mike, because of his quickness, his relentlessness. That can be great, and sometimes it can hurt you. But right there, he made that foul happen because he didn't just go to the baseline. He went at the basket when he went to the baseline.
He's going to be a good fit at UE, isn't he?
I think he's going to be a great fit because he does the things that need to be done on the Division I level. But I think the best thing about him, he's such a competitor. He's not some guy that's going to come in and sit down and say, I've made Division I, there's no more for me. He comes in, he's going to want to be the best Division I player he can be. And I'll tell you what, between Coach Cruz and Coach Sarf and Simmons and Forrester, they're going to make sure he gets there if he's willing to pay the price.
Memorial back within 2. They had a 12-0 run to cut it to 2, but they haven't been able to regain the lead. Nice deflection, Alsop, and a foul. Corey Alsop got his hands on it. Was trying to get it to Brothers.
And how does the play develop? It develops because they keep moving their feet, but yet they're using their hands for deflections. A lot of guys play defense with their hands down at their sides. They've got the hands up the whole time, and they create the deflection. Now they're going to the line.
And a big foul, his 4th for Kyle McClure, and this time Corey Alsop will go to the line.
When's the last time this game's been tied?
Quite a while ago. It was 5-4. 2 minutes. 2-2 was the score. That's right.
Well, he hits this. He hits this, and we finally got back to a tie.
This is kind of the same game, well, the same way as the first game. You know, North Posey got down and tried to make the run. He could never get over the hump. Memorial made their run. They got over the hump, and now it's all tied.
Absolutely, Dean.
And Keon all over Williams, 2 of the premier players in the area, and Keon knew it.
And Mike, that's what I was talking about 2 minutes ago. I said it can work both ways. Big plays, big shots, but also he's on adrenaline rush, and you don't want him to get a dumb foul. That was really not a good foul. You're 35, 40 feet away from the basket. You really don't need to be fouling out there, especially if you're Clint Keon.
6:45 to go in the game. It's brand new, 49 all. Memorial with a big comeback, but the Rams are holding tough. Kent Williams, and a foul again on Keon, and that's his third.
They worked the right side again. They started the ball on the left side, moved him over on a flare out or a back screen, and boom, right to Williams, and took it to the basket. They love that baseline.
So Kent Williams returns to the line. Josh Todd returns to the bench. And Steve Obenchain makes his debut in the Classic. A 6'5" junior. He's been hobbled by an ankle problem. And now Adam Hayden comes in. He's going to replace Corey Alsop.
Memorial's another one of those teams that have a lot of good juniors, and they're going to be tough again next year, even though they're going to lose Keon.
Well, both teams full of underclassmen, and if you're a coach, it's a struggle maybe at the time, but boy, you love the thoughts of what next year can bring.
Kent Williams with his second free throw. He now has 15 points on the afternoon. Nice looking player. And again, he's just a junior. And Obenchain makes his presence felt with a rebound. Up to Brothers.
Memorial can take the lead here, guys.
Keon. Williams.
Boy, Williams does a nice job of handling the basketball, guys.
I like the way he looks up the court. And when Naki, we ought to be seeing Naki again before too long. Here's Williams from way out. Gamber, good position, and the basket. And an errant pass.
Gamber gets the steal. He may be the MVP. Who knows?
16 points and another key steal for Scott Gamber. Coleon Hawkins down. And Morgan can't get it to go.
No foul out again by Memorial. They're just tipping and tapping.
And control by Hayden.
Scott Gamber has played one heck of a game today on the boards and on the offense.
And a foul and a basket. Beautiful Keon. A tremendous offensive move. Coleon Hawkins can't believe it.
Fred Cooper may ring him up with another technical if he doesn't watch it.
I'd say one more quick movement out of Hawkins and he was going to get it.
The real good players, the thing about Keon, he really creates. He made that happen.
Well, Mike, they want to be bumped. The good players want you to foul them because they're going to score and get the three-point play. And Clint Keon created that foul again by using his body, but then pulls the shot off as well.
That was the fourth foul on Hawkins. Keon goes to the line. And Clint Keon has suddenly caught fire again. As we're tied, he is 28 points. We've got 5:27 to go, and it's tied up 52-all.
Those are just not good fouls. You know, you're 80 feet from the basket. You're in a tie game situation. You just don't need to be creating those foul situations. And it was a foul. You know, you might be the coach saying, that wasn't a foul, but it is a foul. He's trying to turn the corner, and you bump him. But I'm really shocked at how Naki and Hawkins have really fizzled out here defense. I'm not knocking them as players, but you can see the fatigue from working so hard in those first three quarters.
And Williams and Keon continue their discussion. 16 points for Williams as he'll try to make it a 2-point lead for the Rams.
I'd say they're mentally working each other, Mike, Keon and Williams. They're going to see, can I psych the other guy out?
Two outstanding competitors lived up to the hype. They both played well. Keon with a game-high 28.
Going to see some screens here, trying to get, oh, nice shot.
Birdsall gets the bucket. Big basket for Eric Birdsall. And that's got to give them confidence. Someone other than Keon putting in a very timely basket.
Did a great job. He stepped up after he screened for Keon. There's a big steal by Birdsall.
Birdsall with a steal. Brothers, he'll take it to the hole. And Memorial has its first lead.
Might want a timeout here.
Since the early part. Memorial with a 2-point lead. 4:45, as you see.
See if they work the baseline. Yep.
Gamber and Hayden with the steal. Nice pass. Todd, a foul and a basket.
Beautiful pass.
Josh Todd off a fine feed from Adam Hayden, and Memorial has 4-point lead as Todd will go to the line.
Mike, that was as good a look-away pass as I've seen. There you see him going up strong after the pass for the basket. But Hayden did a great job of looking away. That's what made the play.
And Doug Creel wants to talk it over. Memorial with the last 4 points, 58-54, a little over 4.5 minutes to go. Again, Mike Blake along with Dean Webster and Ken Schultheis. You're watching, folks, the first annual NBC 14 Hoops Classic and the second game, which almost turned into a laugher at one time, Kenny. 16-point lead for Mount Vernon. Boy, has it ever turned in to the name of the tourney, a classic.
Well, we were talking graveyard there for a little bit, and the Tigers just picked it up, and they got the technical foul, kind of turned the momentum, and now they're playing sharp and doing things quicker. And Birdsall stepped up and played good ball, and now Hayden. Let's see if on the other end, Mount Vernon doesn't try to get Williams isolated in the baseline area or somebody isolated on that baseline area. But Memorial's done a good job of dropping somebody from the top and then going after the ball when they get it down here. These free throws are big as well.
Josh Todd, junior talent. And now, isn't it funny how if you start making a couple shots, all of a sudden everybody starts in it. It's infectious. And Memorial has its biggest lead of the game, 59-54, as Todd has a 5-point afternoon. He's 3 for 5 from the line.
What a turnaround in this game, folks. Absolutely just a huge turnaround.
Williams works his way to the other side, puts it up and in.
Well, they tried to go to that right side baseline area. Instead of going baseline, he came back middle and hit a big shot.
Coming down close to 4 minutes. Memorial with a 3-point lead and the ball.
I really think they'd like to work Keon into that middle area, maybe a left hand and move into the elbow area if he could. Oh, beautiful pass.
But Overchain couldn't handle it, puts it up, gets it back, and puts it in.
There's another one of them big thugs underneath there. He did a great job of staying with that ball and putting it in.
Steve Obenchain with the biggest basket of the season for the young man. And Memorial has a 5-point lead again, coming down close to 3:30. Keon with the active hands. He's got 3 fouls. Williams on the fadeaway.
Clutch shot, baseline, right side again. Turnaround jumper. You can't defend that. Yeah, that's just a great offensive move.
The money men, Williams and Keon, doing it here at crunch time. 21 and a foul.
Left hand into that elbow area, guys. They tried to get that on the last time down, but he went inside with it. This time he took it all the way to the elbow.
Reed Backus, who just came into the ball game with his first foul, and it'll send Clint Keon to the line with 3:16 to go and a 3-point Memorial lead.
Keon has 28 points. If he hits both free throws, he will move into 6th place tie with Derek Dow as the all-time leaders in Evansville City School history. So Clint with already 28 today. He's moved past Idris Mitchell, and Keon is now the 7th all-time leading scorer in Evansville.
That's some pretty good company to be in, Dean.
Some tremendous company. Just last week against Mount Vernon, he passed a guy named Shellhouse, who many believe may be the best to ever come out of Evansville. The great Evansville North star went on to Purdue. Boy, could he fill it. And Mr. Keon has 30, and Memorial has a 5-point lead with 3:16 to go. We're coming back. It should be a great 3:16 to go. Mount Vernon and Memorial playing for game number 2. All the marbles on the line after this.
For the true athlete, there's only one place to shop. Southern Illinois Sporting Goods, Veterans Memorial Drive, Mount Vernon.
A new era began today as cable TV brought broadcast television.
The first 24-hour movie channel was beamed in via satellite. HBO.
Welcome the first channel that's all kids all the time. Cable is just what the parents
Tomorrow
order.
are wired in today. Cable has connected school kids to the future.
Came of age today as the Gulf War raged. CNN was the only
Games as the
channel.
NFL and Major League Baseball join the cable
Sure
lineup.
that cable will continue to change people's lives by delivering the future of television.
We are Cablevision Communications.
And as Chris Morgan inbounds the ball, right next to him are 2 lovely ladies, Jenny Whitmer and another Jenny. Jen, take it away.
Hey guys, I found Jen Childers here in the audience. She is a professional athlete and a part-time model. Jen, tell everybody what you do.
pro boxing right now, looking to fight against someone in February, and I do a little bit of modeling, getting into acting too.
Okay, and where do you live now?
I'm in Evansville just for the holidays. I'll go back out to North Hollywood, California, and that'll be January 2nd when I head back out that way.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jen. Back to you guys.
Thanks, ladies. Jenny Chowder's a tremendous athlete. The first female pro boxer in Indiana and Evansville, undefeated as a boxer, and a very lovely model to boot. Chris Morgan's bucket cut it to 3. We're under 2:45 to go. Aaron Brothers, who's played big off the bench for the Tigers, has the basketball. But it's been Clint Keon, a game-high 30, taking it to the hole, dishes it off. And Birdsall gets called for traveling.
Well, Memorial's gone to a 3-out, what I would call a 3-out. They're going to penetrate middle and kick out, try to find a man cut into the basket. But you got a lot of time left on the clock, and you got to be careful of that, especially as poorly as they've handled the ball in the half court this game.
And a foul on Aaron Brothers. Both teams well into the bonus. 2:19 on the clock. Game number 2. Unbeaten Mount Vernon, trying to protect its perfect record, sends their best player, Kent Williams, who has been 4 of 7 from the line. He's over 20 points, has 21 to be exact. He can cut it to 2. Like all the good shooters, like the form.
Beautiful.
Like Dean, you know?
Beautiful lift to the elbow. The elbow goes above the eye, and the follow through and the nice backspin on the ball.
7 of 9. 79% free throws for Mount Vernon, and they're back within 1, 63-62.
They've come at him with full court pressure here, Mike, to see how Memorial handles this ball. Down 1, 63-62.
Brothers in traffic, tries to get it, and it's off of... It is off Mount Vernon. A lot of people behind us in the Mount Vernon section thought it was off Josh Todd, and Dave Hayden says, I want to talk things over.
Good call by Coach Hayden. They really needed to.
You really got to take care of the basketball, don't you? And I think prior to this game, one of the concerns of Dave Hayden was he said, you know, we haven't taken care of the ball. And of course, a kid like Keon, all the good players, to get off the shot, you got to be able to take care of it. But everybody else has to step it up at this time.
Well, especially in this situation, you're up 1. You got 2 minutes on the clock. All of a sudden, they throw a full court press at you, and they're coming at you hard. I mean, it's like somebody throwing slow pitch softball to you, and then all of a sudden sending Nolan Ryan up there to throw a fastball. I mean, you're just not ready for something like that, and that's why I think because Memorial has not handled the ball well, especially in this game, that was a great timeout call. Regroup these guys, get them ready for what may come at them, and if it doesn't, well, they're prepared mentally. This is going to be a great ending to a game that really looked like it was going to be out of reach with another basket.
And as we made the statement before, when John Nockey, a very talented young man, he felt he had gotten fouled down at this end of the court, goes down, commits a foul, and then gets a technical. It has really turned this ball game around. Keon inbounding it. Memorial with a lead and 1 point at the 2-minute mark.
He comes off the screen on the backside. Oh.
Gamber. And Scott Gamber with a fine move. And a big basket by Backus. Reed Backus. His first points of the game couldn't have come at a better time. Mount Vernon back on top with 1:38 to go. 64-63. Keon doesn't get it to go. Keon with a rebound. Up. Beautiful.
Big call there.
A very big call. And another timeout. It comes with 1:29. Clint Keon was looking for his 32nd points. Again, at this stage of the game could go either way.
The official's right there. I mean, he's right there, so he obviously saw him. But, you know, I saw 2 guys battling on Memorial to get that board, and it looked as if he's going up. I really didn't see the shuffle of the feet, but the official was right there on the spot. So, okay, let's take a look at that.
Here it is again.
Yes, he did. But Dean Dean says maybe a shove from the side, and you might be right, but I was just looking at the feet, and he did. He pulled his pivot foot before he went up, so that was a great call by the official, unless Dean was right and he got shoved in the side.
You know, it's a shame either one of these teams will have to lose because they've played well. Here's the shooting percentage. Memorial that had a woeful 22% early in the first half. It's up to 45%. The Rams shooting 49% from the field. But more importantly, they've got the lead and the pumpkin with 1:29 to go.
The pumpkin, I like that.
A 16-point lead midway through the second quarter, and it pretty much stayed that way until midway through the third, and that's when Memorial erased a 15-point deficit.
Williams almost got a foul there, pushing off on Hayden, but he got away with it. Oh.
You know, Kent Williams looks like the boy next door, but he can play tough. He got ejected in the Salem game. So we got to put him in the competitive, the most competitive athletes here too. He and Keon and Seitz, the really good players, they're as competitive as can be.
I just like the way he handles the ball, Mike. He just takes care of the basketball.
And a nice takedown by Adam Hayden.
There's 64 for Mount Vernon, 63 for Memorial here.
The score is 64-63. Mount Vernon with the lead, and Kent Williams.
You see the foul on the replay there, Mike. Hayden jumped in there. They really have to. They're going to take some chances here, but I don't know. There's still a lot of time. I don't necessarily think you would have to go to a foul here with only a 1-point deficit.
He is 6 of 9, Kent Williams. He has 23 points on the afternoon.
6 straight points now by Mount Vernon. They were down 63-58 when Keon hit a couple of free throws with 3:10 left, or 3:16 left to go in the game. Memorial has not scored again, so 57 seconds left here. So the Tigers have gone well over 2 minutes now without scoring.
And really, Mike, the reason they haven't been able to put any points on the board is a turnover, a poor pass that they did get it back but didn't get anything out of it. They just, Memorial has been their own worst enemy. As much as they've helped themselves and had opportunities, they've been their worst enemy down the stretch here.
Who's your player of the game, guys? What do you think? Boy.
Let's watch another 57 seconds.
Yeah, I really do. Williams has done a good job. Keon's done a good job. There's been different people here, but there's been a guy on the boards and scoring for Mount Vernon. I'm going to watch 57 seconds and just see. I may go with him.
You two should run.
Scott Gamber's done a pretty good job.
Gamber has been a nice player today.
You two guys should be in politics. You're very good. Kent Williams goes to the line again here. Again, 23 points. It is 64-63. Mount Vernon with the lead and the ball. And he makes his 7th free throw of the afternoon. He's 7 of 10. The team shoots 79%. He is shooting 70% of the day. But again, the good shooters,
they're going to put him in, and this, he's going to hit this, and it's still a 3-point game, and you got the 3-point shot. A lot of time left. Memorial really ought to just try to get a 2 points here if they can.
Mount Vernon up by 3, 66-63. Keon. And a rebound by Chris Morgan.
Maybe
and now the Memorial faithful.
They're going to have to foul here, Mike. They're going to have to get out here and start looking to foul.
But I don't foul this guy.
No, you don't want him at the line, but you really don't have much choice. You're down to 30 seconds. It's a 3-point game. You got to get the ball back here. And
25 seconds.
They got to get a foul, because you got to get a 2-possession here, possibly. You got to have a foul, guys.
And a foul by Keon.